Hi, I'm Steve from the Rooted Podcast, and I hope you can join me every weekday for a 5-minute or less devotional word study or insight into Scripture to add to your day. Welcome to Fruit Snacks. Hey everyone. In today's episode, we're going to be looking at Proverbs 1. And this is a considerably longer chapter than the first Psalm, which we looked at a little bit ago. And so I'm not going to take the time to read the entire proverb here. I just wanted to touch on a few things that stood out to me. So I would encourage you to go ahead and take some time and read it, and then you can pick up with me here. And so with that in mind, here are a few thoughts on this first proverb. Wisdom and the fear of the Lord are very, very closely connected and correlated. And that's actually because all wisdom proceeds from God, and therefore any wisdom that we can know, any person who is wise is only wise because they've been blessed with that wisdom from God. And in fact, that's what Solomon says in verse 7 of Proverbs 1. And all that Solomon is essentially saying here is that all wisdom comes from God. So, as James says, if we want to be wise, we should ask God, because God is the one who gives it to us. Moreover, wisdom is something that is earned over time. And we see this if we jump to the very end of the proverb, when one of the things that wisdom says in verse 25 is, "Because you have ignored my counsel, and you would have none of my reproof, I will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when terror strikes you." And yet, the proverb ends in verse 33 with this, "But whoever listens to me will dwell secure and will be at ease without dread of disaster." And the basic principle here is that wisdom is something that, just like physical and material resources, you can't expect to gain in the very moment that you need it. It must be prepped for, it must be procured ahead of time, before the day and the moment that you need it. Just like if you were training for a boxing match or a sporting event or something like that, you wouldn't wait until the day of the game or the tournament or the match to suddenly expect that you could cram all this training in and that you would be proficient. You wouldn't be, and you would fail. And the principle here is the same, is don't wait to ask God for wisdom the day and the moment that you need it. Wisdom is gained over time, and it's best gained by committing ourselves to searching the Scriptures and to asking God for wisdom daily, so that in the time that we need it, we will have accumulated it little by little, long before the moment that we find ourselves in need. One other principle here, and it comes in the middle of the proverb, is just this idea in verses 8 through 19 of Solomon counseling his son to basically not get involved with a certain kind of person. And the people he describes here are thieves, but they're thieves who are willing to kill in order to gain material goods. And there's the general principle here that there's no honor among thieves, right? But this idea of being careful who we get involved with, especially if they're people who are willing to hurt others for their own gain, or who are willing to take advantage of others so that they can obtain something. Solomon's principle here and the wisdom in this is to say, essentially, if these people that are wanting you to get involved with them are willing to hurt others for their own benefit, to their own gain, why in the world would you think that they would look at you any differently? As soon as you become a convenient or an easy target to them, do you not think that they'll do the same to you? Of course they will. And so it's a good reminder for us to be careful not to get involved with people who are so quick to proverbially or literally shed blood and to cause issues and drama and disturbances and gossip and whatever, because if they'll do that with us, they'll almost certainly do that to us. So we'll be continuing this series in Proverbs every few weeks as we rotate into another proverb. But this is a good reminder of the importance of continually asking God for wisdom and of being careful who we get ourselves involved with.